Johnny Murr here, and welcome to the very first video where we're going to be covering all the different games that were announced at the Game Awards 2024. If you haven't watched my recap of the show, make sure you go do that, and I'll just sum it up. I think the show was an absolute 10 out of 10. I absolutely loved it from start to finish. So many games, so many awesome moments, and this game is one of them. We're going to be talking about Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophecy. This is coming from Naughty Dog, the studio that made Uncharted, The Last of Us, Crash Bandicoot. The list goes on. Jak and Daxter. They're one of the studios, or they're just one of the industry's all-time greats. No questions about it. They've made some amazing games, and you already know Uncharted is one of my favorite franchises of all time. So you already know my hype is going to be absolutely through the roof about this game. And even that aside, I loved what we saw about this game. We're going to be breaking it down. We're going to be talking about it. And I have information and details that we've seen, that we've heard from just breakdowns and some interviews and just some Q&As that we've gotten more information from. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. But if you guys love video games like I do, now is the perfect time to jump on board, because the Game Awards just absolutely set the future up in such an amazing way. Industry is popping right now, man. But if you love video games, consider subscribing and sharing with your friends. We talk about video games daily on this channel. We're going to have a lot of content coming within the next couple weeks, as well as we're going to be kicking off 2025 strong. I'm going crazy in 2025. We're going to be on that grind, because 2025 will be the best year in gaming. Mark my words. It looks insane. But yeah, appreciate all the support you guys give me, especially the support on this video. But let's get talking about Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophecy. Now, leading up to this show, we knew there were going to be some big games. We knew this was going to be a good show. We didn't know how great. We didn't know it was going to be a 10 out of 10. However, I'd like to say I called it from a mile away. I literally made a tweet a couple days beforehand saying, hot prediction, I think the show is going to be a 10 out of 10. And it absolutely was. It absolutely was. And we had no idea we'd be getting massive announcements like Naughty Dog's next game. This is just absolutely awesome, and this was the game that closed the entire show. This was the final announcement. This was that one more thing that Jeff was super emotional about, and he let us know. I'm so glad it was, because I do think it generally looks awesome. So if you guys don't know, in the trailer, basically you see this character. We're going to talk about her in a second. And she's basically aboard her ship outside of this planet with this like destroyed moon in like a spiral formation. It looks sick. I love the cinematography and the artistic flavor that we're just seeing with the coloring and just the style that this game is going for. I just absolutely love it. It's retro futuristic, so you're seeing things like, you know, music players and just like retro jackets and stuff like that, but it all has futuristic flair to it, and I absolutely love that, and we're going to talk about that again a little bit later, and it should make sense. And basically, we're a bounty hunter, and we are going to this planet that people haven't been able to get to and successfully get out of in 600 years. And basically, at the end, you see her pull out one of her weapons, which looks like an equalizer blade. If you guys know what that means, it's like equalizer, like in terms of music, so like the different levels in terms of EQs and stuff. And then there's this giant robot, and she runs at him, and she does this huge swing that she's about to do. And man, the music they played, the just anticipation building up to that moment, and just the visuals, and just Naughty Dog doing their thing was just so hype, and it was such a great moment to just close the show. I really was just smiling from ear to ear while watching this, and I just knew as soon as it started, I just knew it was Naughty Dog, because you could just tell they're that good that you can just tell when you're watching quality, and Naughty Dog is quality. Now, I may not be the biggest Last of Us Part 2 fan because of the story, but I can't take away how phenomenal that game is in terms of its gameplay, its music, its visuals, its polish, its content. Like, it really is a phenomenal product, even if you didn't love the story. In my case, I did not. But I've loved everything else Naughty Dog has put out. And because of Part 2, my opinion of Naughty Dog really hasn't changed. I just was not a fan of a game. That doesn't mean I think they're a worse studio because of it. And so we're going to talk about it. So the first detail we're going to go over is something really interesting, is that it was confirmed that 250 developers have been working on this game for the last 4 years, meaning since 2020. So there's a couple things we could take from this. Number one is that they are focusing on this. If there are 250 developers working on this, that is a lot of people. I'm not sure how how big Naughty Dog is to begin with, but 250 is a lot. That's more than a lot of studios. So that's absolutely great to hear. But the fact that they've been working on it for the last 4 years. So I know what a lot of people are going to say. They're going to say, oh yeah, this is a 2026 game. Some people might even say this is a 2028 game. This is a 2029 game. People might think this is next generation. I'm telling you right now, this game is coming out on the PS5 100%. And then the second thing I'm going to tell you is I do believe this will be a 2026 game. Now, we don't officially have a release date, but if 250 people have been working on this game for the last 4 years, there's a very good chance we are in the pretty much like deep production of this game, to the point where I wouldn't be shocked if next year we see it again, get some kind of gameplay or something, just because we're reaching that point in its development cycle, as well as Naughty Dog. Just they usually don't spend years and years making games. I mean, obviously they're one of the longer studios, but you get what I'm trying to say. And so I do think this could be a 2026 game. Honestly, I don't even think ruling out 2025 is a bad idea. I just really doubt it. But who knows? It is possible. But it's just absolutely great to hear it, and especially since they also said here that after layoffs, Naughty Dog underwent a restructuring that Neil Druckmann would ensure the company would operate as an IP powerhouse. So we all know the story of Naughty Dog. Before this game's announcement, the most recent thing we've heard about them is that they underwent layoffs and they canceled the online Last of Us game that was planned, Factions 2, if you will. And the reason being for this is because in order to make that game pretty much a success and to even be worthwhile, they would have to pump out content at a unhealthy rate, which would then turn that studio pretty much entirely into a live service machine, and that is just absolutely against what Naughty Dog is and will forever will be, and always has been. They are the studio that brought you Uncharted. They are the studio that brought you Last of Us, some of the greatest single-player games of all time, period. And so if that would have happened, that would have been a just absolutely disaster for PlayStation, for Naughty Dog, for gamers, for the industry, really. And the fact that they did a restructuring so they can operate as an IP powerhouse, whereas I feel like it's been Uncharted for a while, and then it's pretty much only been Last of Us for a while. I would love for Intergalactic to be that new thing that just gets people back in love with Naughty Dog, and they do more Last of Us, and then they do maybe more Uncharted. They do a Jak and Daxter again out of nowhere. Who knows? All I know is I love the words they're using here. Restructuring to be a IP powerhouse. Not an intergalactic powerhouse. No, an IP powerhouse. A studio that will deliver great IP across the board. And I'm just super duper excited for it, because I think this does look like a very promising concept. They are returning to Naughty Dog's roots for action adventure with this game. And it started with the reputation with Crash Bandicoot. I love the fact that they used Crash Bandicoot here. They could have easily just said a reputation gained by, Uncharted or Last of Us, some of the most just decorated action adventure games ever. But Crash Bandicoot is what really started Naughty Dog out, So I love that they did that. But now we're going to start talking about the game itself. Some of its concepts, its story, its gameplay, and stuff like that. The story is set in an alternate universe where space travel has significantly advanced by 1986. Play as Jordan Munn. Correct me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Jordan Munn. Played by Tati Gabrielle. A dangerous bounty hunter who ends up stranded on Semperia, a distant planet whose communication with the outside universe went dark hundreds of years ago. It will be an emotional, character-driven epic journey with the deepest gameplay in Naughty Dog's history, taking our learnings from our previous franchises and pushing them beyond anything we've ever done before. It takes inspiration from classic anime like the 1988 movie Akira and the 1990s series Cowboy Bebop. It will be scored by Nine Inch Nails artists Trent Reznor, and Atticus Ross. So real quick, Trent Reznor is also the composer for games such as Black Ops 2, such as Quake, and such as Batman Arkham Knight. Pretty great OST games right there. So really great to hear that. But also they're just composers in a lot of other mediums as well. So, or industries, not mediums. They're composers. The medium is music, of course. But yeah, so let's talk about this story and what we're hearing, what this concept is. I love the fact that it is a sci-fi game. That is something we've just not seen Naughty Dog do yet, and I think that is the right move. I mean, we truly have not seen Naughty Dog do two types of genre, like two genres that you would expect them that this genre to be in: fantasy and sci-fi. It's been post-apocalyptic, it's been modern, and then it's been platformers. And so the fact that we're finally getting sci-fi is just really, really exciting, because in my opinion, sci-fi is like one of the coolest themes or just genres. It might even be my favorite, honestly. I just love sci-fi. Star Wars is my favorite franchise, just period. I love Star Wars. So, sci-fi is definitely going to ring a bell to me. But I love that the story is set in an alternate universe where space travel has significantly advanced by 1986. So what this means is basically that's why this is retro futuristic. You're not seeing a futuristic iPhone. No. You're seeing a futuristic 1986 phone. You know what I mean? So that's why you see so many old time technology. That's why you see so many retro and classic things in this ship and in this world, because in this universe they've already reached that point. In 1986 they are already way ahead of what we are in 2024. So it's like just a completely different world we're living in, a completely different universe where by 1986, they have reached space travel, they have reached insane technologies, but they still have things and styles that were happening in 1986, and I just absolutely love that. You guys get it. I probably way over-explained that, and I'm sorry. I'm just too excited because, I just want to talk about these games and get it out there because, oh man, we are cooking. There's so many games to talk about, so much to love on, and yeah, I'm just super duper excited. So he plays Jordan Munn, a dangerous bounty hunter who ends up stranded on Semperia, a distant planet whose communications with the outside universe went dark 100 years ago. I know I said that really quick. That's basically what I was saying, how we play as a space bounty hunter. From the trailer, you're trying to find your lost family or something, maybe. I'm not exactly sure. But you're going to this planet which people haven't left its system in 600 years. They haven't been able to survive or just get out. And so this really is just going to be, and that's something I find this really interesting, and I really hope it does take this direction. You have things like Starfield, you have things like Outer Worlds, No Man's Sky, where it's just these space explorations, go from planets to planets, you get to build your own spaceships, you get to go do all these things, whereas sometimes it's okay to just do a space game where it's just about a planet and its system, its atmosphere. You don't have to go into hyperspace every couple hours to find a new planet. I do believe that this entire game will be based around one planet, and I think that's so smart. Build that planet out, build that world building, build that atmosphere, build the layers that you need to create an interesting world. You cannot do a whole universe and expect every player to try and get consumed in every piece of information about that entire universe. There are people who will, and they are warriors, let me tell you that. But if you can develop, enrich this one planet with this one story, with these specific characters, I think that's what you got to do. And I think that's what this game is going for, because the game is set where you play as a bounty hunter stranded on a planet, Semperia. They even have the name for the planet already. And I just really like this, because what this is going to be is this is going to be an adventure where you're going into the unknown. You're going into the unknown. And with Naughty Dog's storytelling, with Naughty Dog's immersion and experience with gameplay, getting a completely new universe with such a cool vibe, being that retro futuristic, and just letting their creativity go through the roof with enemies, with weapons, with environments. We're in for a ride with this. And I think the whole bounty hunter thing is cool. Like, who doesn't love being a bounty hunter or watching bounty hunter do bounty hunting things? You know, like, it's just super duper exciting what they're going for. I just really hope they pull through, they deliver. And I personally have no doubt that they will. I think anybody doubting is just unfortunately impacted by social media. And if you just took the the direction of Last of Us Part 2's story in the wrong way, even as somebody who did not like the story, it does not hurt my reputation of Naughty Dog. So, you know, it is definitely a thing to question, how is it going to execute, how is it going to deliver, but just knowing Naughty Dog, knowing Neil Druckmann, knowing Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, there is talent behind this, and there is such a great concept behind this, and the trailer we got was super duper interesting. I'm super duper excited for Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. Let me know what you guys think of Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. I'll let you know right now. If you want to comment something about woke or DEI, do it so everybody can just laugh at you, because nobody cares. I'll be honest with you. This is a game that you can choose to play, or you can choose to not play. You can choose to spend $70 on it, or you can choose to not. There's a lot of games out there for you to play. If you don't want to play this one, then don't. But if you do, let the people who do enjoy it. And that's what I plan on doing. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Johnny Moore out. We have a lot more games to talk about. This was just the beginning. This is the first one that I'm doing. I'm doing like 8 of them today, tonight, whenever. It's going to be awesome. Appreciate y'all. Peace.